There's a moment in your life when you stop negotiating with weakness, when the version of you that hesitates dies. It doesn't go quietly. It screams, it bargains, it clings to comfort like it's oxygen. But winners don't make peace with mediocrity. They murder it. You've been lied to, told to stay balanced, stay patient, stay realistic. That's why you feel the pull, the quiet ache behind your ribs, not for more money, not for applause, but for a version of you that never got to live. The truth? Most people will die as a possibility. They'll be buried next to their potential because they never made the decision. Not a wish, not a dream, a decision. The kind that cuts, the kind that burns bridges and rewrites futures in the smoke. This world doesn't reward effort. It rewards clarity, precision, conviction. The difference between the average and the exceptional isn't talent, it's identity. The world's full of intelligent cowards, gifted procrastinators, brilliant minds paralyzed by low standards. The winners, they don't hope. They install new operating systems. They don't adjust. They upgrade. You can't think your way into becoming someone new. You decide your way in. Right now, you're running software written by fear, code installed by teachers who settled, parents who meant well but played safe, friends who laughed at ambition, and it's killing you. Not fast, not loud, slow, quiet, like rust. You wake up, and some part of you is gone. The fire's dimmer. The voice that once said, "Let's go," now whispers, "Not today." You know what that is? That's the sound of compromise. That's the sound of dying while still breathing. But there's something deeper, a frequency only the bold can hear, a signal that says this isn't it. The winners heard it. They acted when no one else believed, when it didn't make sense, when the numbers didn't line up. They moved anyway. You keep waiting to feel ready, to have more confidence, to get a sign. You are the sign. Confidence doesn't show up first. Decision does. You want the 10 rules that separate the winners? It starts here. Rule 1. Identity comes before outcome. Everyone else waits for proof. Winners decide who they are, and then become the proof. Average minds seek validation. Winner minds seek alignment. You don't earn greatness. You claim it. You construct it. You become the kind of person who's not available for failure. Not because you never fall, but because falling isn't final. You rise. You adjust. You come back louder, and you stop explaining yourself. The world will try to size you up by your past, by your missteps, by your hesitation. But there's a new law now. You are no longer who you were. You're not the version that quits. Because the test you're facing isn't looking for potential, it's looking for proof, and proof looks like consistency when it's hard. It looks like faith when nothing makes sense. It looks like getting back up when your ego is bleeding. Nobody's coming to save you. Not because you're forgotten, but because you're being forged. This is divine pressure, the kind that creates diamonds or dust, and the choice is you. Let that land. There will be days when everything in you screams to go back, to the familiar pain, to the predictable disappointment, to the numb survival that required no courage. But every time you go back, you betray the version of you that's waiting ahead. You are being watched, not by people, but by your future, and your future is saying, prove it. Prove you're serious. Prove you're done with excuses. Prove you'll keep walking when nobody's clapping. This isn't about hype, it's about rewiring, from the inside out. Because until you change how you see yourself, nothing changes. Your relationships will mirror your self-worth. Your finances will mirror your belief ceiling. Your results will reflect your rituals. It's not magic, it's alignment. And right now, the test is asking, will you align with identity or emotion? Because your emotions are temporary, but identity is eternal. Stop waiting for motivation. You don't need to feel like it. You need to become it. Feelings follow actions. Identity follows repetition, but that comes later. Right now, this is your line in the sand. This is the mental reset, where you stop negotiating with the old you, where you stop explaining your limits, where you stop playing small just to make others comfortable. You weren't designed to blend in. You were made to break patterns, to disrupt the cycle, to build legacy out of chaos, but not if you tap out every time it gets hard. Pain is part of the price. Confusion is part of the course. Delay is part of the design, but none of it disqualifies you unless you quit. So no, this isn't the end. This is the test, and if you pass it, you unlock power. You access momentum. You shift universes with a single decision, not a perfect plan. A decision to go all in, to speak differently, to think higher, to move like the version of you who doesn't ask for permission anymore. You know who that is. You've seen glimpses. That version of you shows up when nobody's watching, when you dream and don't censor, when you imagine without limits. That version is real, and this test is the gate. Don't fail it with excuses. Don't fumble it with doubt. Don't abandon it because comfort came knocking. Stand up. You've been through too much to give up now. You've cried too many nights to stay average. You've survived too much pain to play it safe. This is the moment. This is the reset. Say it out loud. I'm not going back. I'm not shrinking. I'm not hesitating. I rise now. I break through now. I rebuild now. I walk like it's already done. Let the old me die, because the new me doesn't flinch. It doesn't argue. It doesn't fact check. It listens, and then it obeys. That voice in your head that says you're not ready, that didn't come from nowhere. It came from repetition. Every time you said I can't, every time you said maybe someday, every time you delayed your greatness, your subconscious wrote it down, and then it built your life around it. This isn't about positive thinking. This is mental engineering, rewiring the machine that's been building your reality in silence. You're not stuck. You're programmed, and that should ignite you, because what's been programmed can be reprogrammed. You don't need more motivation. You need new instructions, clear, repeated, violent instructions. The winners know this. They don't speak casually. They speak constructively. They build identity with words. They sculpt belief with repetition. Autosuggestion isn't hype. It's the operating language of your mind. Napoleon Hill knew it. He didn't say hope you become confident. He said tell your mind what to believe, and tell it every day. Henry Ford didn't ask if people wanted faster horses. He told himself they would ride in machines, over and over, until it became reality. Edison failed 10,000 times, but to his subconscious, there was no failure, because he never spoke failure. He said, I've found 10,000 ways it won't work. That's autosuggestion. That's mental command. He rewired his response to struggle, and that rewiring built his legacy. You think you're not disciplined? You're not undisciplined. You're over-rehearsed in quitting. You've memorized your limits. You've repeated your excuses, and now they feel like truth. But they're not truth. They're scripts, and you're the actor. Rip the script. Burn the lines. Write a new one. Start with this. I am not who I was. I am who I decide to become, and I decide daily. Say it again. Your subconscious is listening. You can't whisper your way into identity transformation. You have to shout your future into your nervous system. You want to feel confident? Start speaking like someone who demands results. Start moving like someone who refuses to negotiate. Your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. It follows instruction. You say, I'm tired. It prepares to underperform. You say, I don't miss. It prepares to dominate. This isn't delusion. It's design. Andrew Carnegie didn't become the richest man in the world by hoping. He repeated one line to himself for decades. I attract powerful people. I align with giants. I am a magnet to greatness. Before the money came, before the empire grew, the identity came first. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's how you bend the subconscious. That's how you override the system. Not once, not when it's convenient, daily. The average repeat defeat. The exceptional repeat dominion. The winners are not smarter. They're louder. In their own mind. They don't whisper confidence. They command it. You have to take the same authority over your inner dialogue. Every time doubt whispers, you speak louder. I was built for this. I don't shrink. I finish everything I start. You're not hoping to change. You're installing a new language. And with that language comes a new life. Look around you. Everything you see was first spoken in someone's mind. Every company, every invention, every transformation. First it was a word, then it became a world, and that's your job now. Speak the world you want to live in. Not once, not sometimes, every day. Set the tone before the world does. Command your day before the noise starts. The first thing you say in the morning isn't small. It's the software boot. Wake up with weakness in your mouth, and weakness will run your day. Wake up with conviction, and conviction will clear the path. Say it loud. I am not waiting for proof. I am the proof. I don't chase potential. I embody it. I speak what I become, and I become what I speak. That's the language now. Not I hope, not someday,
No.
not if it works out. Your vocabulary is your destiny. Clean it up, lock it in, loop it daily, because every repetition is a seed, and your future harvest depends on what you plant. Right now you have two options. Keep recycling the language of limitation, or start rehearsing your rebirth. It's not about being fake. It's about being focused. Say what you want, then say it again, and again, and again, until doubt gets tired of knocking, until fear doesn't recognize your voice anymore. Rewire, repeat, rise. This is not magic, it's mechanics. And now you know the blueprint. Every sentence you speak is a brick. Build wisely. You don't reinforce belief by accident. You do it on purpose. You stare in the mirror and speak with authority. You script your future out loud until the universe has no choice but to respond. You command your mornings. You weaponize your words. You train your subconscious like a soldier until it moves without hesitation. You're not lost. You're just one repetition away, one sentence from snapping the old code. Say it again. Say it daily. Say it until it feels like air. I don't stutter when I speak my future. I don't pause when I declare who I am. I command belief. I repeat truth. I become identity. This is not motivation. This is installation. This is software for your soul. Say it again. And move like it's done. You cannot serve two identities. One must die. The one that wants to rise, and the one that keeps hesitating. You keep asking how to commit. But the truth is, you already know. You just haven't burned the bridge. There's no such thing as kind of committed. That's just a poetic way of saying you're still available for your old life. And until you make yourself unavailable, you'll keep returning to the comfort that's killing you. You don't need more options. You need elimination. Winners don't walk toward their future. They cut off everything that could pull them back. They don't try. They decide. Final, irreversible, non-negotiable. Julius Caesar landed on the shores of Britain and ordered his men to burn the ships. Why? Because retreat was not an option. They would win, or they would die. That's commitment. That's what it takes. If you want to build the life that separates you from everyone else, you must declare war on your backup plan. Burn the emotional escape route. Delete the second identity. You've been living with a psychological back door, a small whisper that says, if this doesn't work, I can always go back. Back to the job, back to the comfort, back to the silence of small dreams. But that whisper is a traitor, and you've been feeding it every time you hesitate, every time you say one day, every time you move with your foot half out the door. That's not ambition. That's negotiation with fear. And fear is a master manipulator. It will use logic. It will use reason. It will sound smart, but smart doesn't win. Certain wins. You don't need a better reason. You need a final decision. You say you want to win, then act like it's already decided. Not if, not hopefully, not let's see. Winners don't wait for doors to open. They kick them off the hinges and never look back. Burn the ship. Delete the number. Walk away from the life that made you second-guess yourself. You cannot build your next level with the tools of your last chapter. You cannot carry indecision into dominance. History was not written by the talented. It was written by the decided. Think of Cortez, 1519. He arrived on the shores of the New World. His crew outnumbered, resources scarce. But he gave one command: burn the boats. And they won, because they had no way out, only through. That's how winners think. That's how you must move. You don't leave energy for plan B. You make plan A your only identity. And here's the truth. Nobody says out loud. Total commitment feels like death, because it is. It's the death of the old you. The one who needed approval. The one who asked permission. The one who lived life with a safety net. Let it die. Because only when that identity is buried can the new one breathe. You don't rise with options. You rise with obsession, full body, all in. No excuses. Do you want to know why most people never become who they're capable of being? Because they never fully decide. They test the water when they should be diving in. They hold on to who they were while begging to become someone new. That's not transformation. That's torture. You will never build power by staying available to weakness. Winners understand this. You cannot lead a new life with the language of the old one. You don't try to become, you become, and everything not aligned gets left behind. No more half effort. No more soft decisions. No more weak yeses followed by quick exits. This is the death of backup plans. This is where the old you stops breathing. Right here, right now. Because when you burn the bridge, you're no longer chasing success. You're claiming identity. And that's a completely different energy. You think commitment is about hard work. It's not. It's about finality. You do the hard work after the decision, but the real power comes before that. When you decide that there's no going back, say it. I don't have a plan B. I don't need an escape route. I've already decided. Again, until your voice sounds like fire. This is how you wire conviction. This is how you teach your subconscious what's non-negotiable. You want certainty? Create it, declare it, defend it. Every single morning. Before the doubts wake up, you remind your body, I've already decided. Let that become your loop. Let that become your war cry. No more tug of war with who you used to be. No more divided loyalty between fear and purpose. You cannot serve both. One must die. So pick and bury the other. When your identity is final, your future becomes inevitable. Say it again. I've already decided. And move like that means something. You do not rise in isolation. You rise in alignment. Identity is contagious, and every room you walk into is shaping your reflection. The people around you, they're not neutral. They're either reinforcing your future or echoing your past. The average mind surrounds itself with comfort. The uncommon mind surrounds itself with pressure, because pressure builds identity. Pressure extracts greatness. Pressure is the price of power. You've been trying to become a new person, while staying close to people who only remember the old one. That's the contradiction. That's the friction. That's what's slowing you down. The law is simple. You become like the minds you align with, not who you like, not who you've known, who you align with. The mastermind circle is real. Napoleon Hill knew it. He called it the invisible council. He met with giants in his imagination. Edison, Lincoln, Ford, Carnegie, and over time, their wisdom became his blueprint. It wasn't fantasy. It was mental proximity. Your subconscious doesn't care if the room is real. It only cares what it's exposed to repeatedly. That's why your environment matters more than your intentions, because identity adapts to atmosphere. You sit with slackers. You absorb indecision. You walk with giants. You adopt urgency. And right now, you need to clean the room. No more weak energy. No more casual conversations about someday. No more pretending you can keep both tribes. One that wants comfort, and one that demands conquest. Pick. You can't have both. Every interaction is a transaction. You're either making deposits into your next level, or withdrawals back into mediocrity. Read that again. Then look around. The jokes you laugh at, the habits you tolerate, the standards you excuse, they're all building your normal, and normal is deadly. When your future requires the extraordinary, you don't need more motivation. You need exposure. Exposure to higher expectations, to louder conviction, to people who make you feel like you're not doing enough. Not to shame you, but to stretch you. Stretch or stay the same. That's the law. You want to elevate, find rooms where you feel like a rookie, where your excuses don't make sense, where your limitations feel like lies, because that's how identity shifts, not through comfort, but through confrontation. The wrong environment will convince you that effort is enough. The right one will remind you that results are the only language of the committed. You've been carrying too many casual connections. People who celebrate the old you. People who miss your weaknesses. People who secretly fear your transformation because it reminds them they never made theirs. Let them go. Kindly, clearly, Completely. Not because you're better, but because you're becoming. Becoming requires boundaries. Elevation demands separation. Say this: I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Again, let it imprint. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. If someone's presence doesn't push you, it's pulling you. Even if it's subtle, even if it's dressed as loyalty. But here's the truth: loyalty to your old circle can be disloyalty to your new calling. This is where most people get stuck, trying to upgrade their life while protecting everyone's comfort. But power has a price, and sometimes that price is letting go of what's familiar. Your circle must evolve, or your identity will shrink, because repetition doesn't just happen with words. It happens through people, their beliefs, their fears, their limitations. You hear it enough, you start to wear it. But the reverse is also true. You surround yourself with clarity, and confusion dies. You sit at tables of execution, and hesitation gets embarrassed. That's the power of proximity. Success is not solo. Greatness is not private. Transformation is a team sport. So find your circle, build your council, craft your atmosphere like your life depends on it, because it does. Start with silence. Audit your space. Who do you hear the most? Who gets the loudest say in your thoughts? Are they champions of your future or echoes of your fears? You need a team that speaks an outcome, not excuses. People who tell you, "Don't tell me what you're trying, tell me what you've done," because that language rewires your entire being. You're not meant to carry this alone, but you are meant to choose who walks with you. Stop asking unqualified minds for opinions on your purpose. Stop seeking agreement from people who've never dared. Stop explaining your future to those who are married to their past. Protect your path, protect your peace, protect your pace, and say this: I attract minds that sharpen me. I invite challenge. I reject comfort. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. That's the creed now. That's the frequency. That's the new standard. Because when your environment aligns, your evolution accelerates. And when your circle elevates, your excuses evaporate. This is not about being liked. It's about being locked in. Becoming isn't polite. It's disruptive to habits, to relationships, to comfort zones. And that disruption, it's the sound of destiny clearing its throat. You want to separate from everyone else, then stop sitting with everyone else. You don't belong in every room, and not every room deserves you. Say it one more time, and mean it. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere, and walk like that ends the conversation. You weren't made to meet expectations. You were built to exceed them. Not because it's strategic, because it's identity. This is the law of over-delivery, and the winners live by it. Average minds ask, what do I have to do? Extraordinary minds ask, what would excellence do in my place? Over-delivery is not about being nice. It's not about people-pleasing. It's about becoming undeniable, unforgettable, unmatched, unshakable. And you don't get that from the minimum. You get that from moving like your name is on the line, like your reputation is currency, like your standard is sacred. Every task, every room, every handshake, it becomes a mirror of how you see yourself. Are you the person who gives 60% and disappears? Or are you the one who makes the room better because your presence demands it? Winners do not clock in and out of excellence. It's who they are, on and off the stage, in front of the world, and behind closed doors. Andrew Carnegie didn't hire people to do their job. He hired those who did more than the job required. He said, no man becomes rich unless he enriches others. That's it, the law. You don't become valuable by chasing outcomes. You become valuable by embodying overflow. You give more, you learn more, you care more, you push more. Because the habit of more builds the identity of greatness. You want to be irreplaceable? Then stop doing the minimum. You want to be respected in silence? Then let your work become the loudest thing in the room. When Charles Schwab walked the steel mills for Carnegie, he didn't just inspect, he inspired. He didn't ask what was wrong. He asked, how can we be better? He'd write numbers in chalk on the factory floor, output for the day, and without saying a word, he created competition, pride, ownership. He over-delivered not with labor, but with identity engineering. And you can do the same, because the goal is not just to be great at what you do, it's to elevate everything you touch. That's what winners do. They leave fingerprints of excellence on things that weren't even theirs to fix, not for applause, but because they can't walk away from just enough. It doesn't sit right. It scratches their soul. It offends their standard. You want power? Be the one they can count on, not the one they hope shows up with energy. Consistency is louder than charisma. Execution is louder than excuses. Excellence is louder than ego. You don't need more status. You need to walk in like you're already responsible. Own the atmosphere. Raise the frequency. Leave it better than you found it. Not when you feel like it. Every time. Because that's who you are. The most powerful shift you can make is this. Detach from outcome. Obsess over identity-based action. You don't show up because of what you'll get. You show up because of who you've decided to be. Say it. I over-deliver because that's who I am. Again, until it's in your blood. I over-deliver because that's who I am. Winners aren't transactional, they're transformational. They don't ask what they'll get. They ask who they'll become. Every task is training. Every moment is preparation. Every repetition is investment. The reward is who you're becoming in the process, not what you're given in return. Ford didn't just build a car. He built a system that delivered cars to the world. He didn't wait for the market to ask. He moved like the market didn't even know what it needed yet. That's over-delivery. That's vision. That's identity. You're not here to meet the bar. You're here to become the new bar. Raise the tone. Raise the tempo. Raise the temperature. Because the world mirrors back what you model. You show up sloppy. You get chaos. You show up deliberate. You get results. Your name is becoming a brand. Your energy is becoming a reputation. Every small act is proof of who you are when no one's watching. And that proof, that's what separates the 5% from the masses. Winners don't ask for recognition. Their results scream for them. They're not driven by applause. They're driven by alignment. They say I over-deliver, not because I have to, but because anything less would be a lie. Say it. Say it until it shakes the old version of you loose. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. This isn't about doing more for others. This is about being too excellent to ignore. When your actions become art, the world pays attention. When your work becomes worship, your rewards chase you. And when your habits reflect who you've chosen to be, your identity becomes unshakable. No matter the pressure, no matter the platform, no matter the payoff. Because the real payoff is knowing you never handed in your minimum. You handed in your legacy. Say it again, and let it echo through every decision. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. And now act like that's not optional, because it isn't. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your rituals. What you repeat becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you behave. And how you behave becomes who you are. This is the final lock-in, the death of doubt, the birth of done. Your subconscious doesn't listen to inspiration. It listens to repetition. It listens to ritual. It listens to what you do daily when no one is watching. You've spoken your identity. You've burned the bridge. You've built the circle. Now you seal it. Not with hype, with habit. Not with feeling, with faith in motion. Because faith without movement is fantasy. The new identity doesn't wait to feel ready. It moves like it's already real. Say it. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. That's not ego. That's alignment. Your words shape your world. Your rituals wire your worth. You want to change your life? Then change what you repeat in the dark. Start here. Morning. Before the scroll. Before the noise. You speak. I am not waiting. I am becoming. I am not hoping. I am aligning. I am not trying. I have already decided. You look yourself in the mirror and you command your subconscious, not ask. Command, because this is not about what feels true. It's about what becomes true. Through repeated identity, your brain is not built to question your repetition. It is built to obey it. What you repeat, it records. What you record, it reinforces. What it reinforces becomes your default. This is why losers stay stuck, because they repeat what's easy. They repeat doubt. They repeat delay. They repeat weakness, dressed as wisdom, but not you. You repeat power. You repeat precision. You repeat I am statements that make hesitation uncomfortable. I am a builder. I am a finisher. I am the one who doesn't flinch. This is the software of the elite, not gifted, programmed, not inspired, instilled. What do the 5% do differently? They do it again, and again, and again, until excellence is the new autopilot, until winning feels like home, until there is no gap between the vision and the vessel. Ritual is the shortcut the world ignores, because it's not sexy, it's sacred, it's early, it's quiet, it's unnoticed. But that's where legacy is born. Legacy is not built in big moments. It's built in the unseen pattern that reshapes your nervous system to accept nothing less than execution. You think a lion decides to be fierce each morning? No. It remembers. It repeats. That's your job now, to train your memory to match your future. So you rise and you say, I exceed expectations because it's who I am. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. I've already decided. The old me is gone. And then you move like it, not on day one, every day. When it's boring, when it's early, when no one claps, when no one calls, when doubt knocks, when fear whispers, you don't pause, you don't retreat, you don't explain, you repeat. Repetition is the language of the subconscious, and faith in action is its proof. You don't need more words, you need more walk. Walk like you already know. Walk like the room belongs to you. Walk like your future is not a possibility, but a pattern you've already installed. You don't need external validation. Your identity has become your compass. Your rituals have become your code. Your code has become your character. Now read this. Let the world wonder what changed. Let them guess what happened. Let them talk about your transformation, but never explain. You do not owe the world your process. You are the product. Your life is the proof. Your rhythm is the signature. And your repetition, that's the roar they cannot silence. Say this: I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. Again, until it dissolves doubt. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. This is the end of hesitation, the end of waiting, the end of becoming. You've already become. Let the world wonder what changed. You don't owe them answers. You are the answer.